think back to that moment. You were just interrupted mid-sentence. You paused for a second, opened your mouth to finish, but changed your mind. You just fell silent and forced a crooked, fake smile while everything inside burned with helplessness. Why didn't you answer? Because you're polite. Because you're above it. Let's be honest. You were simply afraid. You fear conflict more than your own loss of dignity. And while you play the nice guy, those around you wipe their feet on you without even noticing. Your kindness isn't a virtue. It's an invitation to your destruction. Disrespect is a poison that doesn't kill instantly. It slowly erodes yourself. It starts with the small things. Someone forgets to reply. Someone mocks your idea in front of everyone. Someone is half an hour late to meet you and doesn't even apologize. You call these little things. Niccolò Machiavelli would call it a fatal mistake. Every time you swallow a slight, you grant a license for the next one. Disrespect is a weed. Water it with your silence once, and tomorrow it becomes your identity. People aren't evil by nature. They are opportunists. They test your boundaries for strength, and if there are no boundaries, they simply step inside and take everything they need. For thousands of years, we've been taught to be soft. Turn the other cheek. Be humble. In theory, it sounds noble. In reality, it's a strategy for extinction. When you offer softness to a world that only understands power, you become invisible. And invisible people aren't respected. They are used as a resource. Machiavelli saw the world without filters. He didn't write for saints. He wrote for those standing on the edge of betrayal, for those tired of being prey. His ultimate truth is painfully simple. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But forget about shouting and fists. We are talking about psychological fear, about that moment when the person in front of you suddenly realizes, you can't do that with him. There will be consequences. Today, we kill that habit of being convenient. We dive into the darkest archives of the human psyche to retrieve your backbone. We will strip the Machiavelli protocol to its core. You will learn to recognize tests of weakness a second before they trigger. How to use silence so it deafens, and how to command respect without saying a word. Either you build your castle, or you become a brick in someone else's. Your choice begins now. Are you ready to stop apologizing for existing? Have you ever wondered why some people walk into a room and the space freezes, while others can shout and no one hears them? It's not magic. It's a signal. In Machiavelli's world, there is no such thing as just a person. There is either the one who dictates the rules or the one who follows them. If you are constantly interrupted, if your requests are ignored, and your feelings are dismissed, it means only one thing. Your market value in this social group is zero. They don't hate you. They simply don't take you into account. To them, you are background noise. Convenient, predictable, safe noise. But ask yourself, how long can you endure this emptiness before it starts burning you from the inside? Machiavelli understood what you are afraid to admit. The world is not a playground. It's a razor's edge. He wrote, "Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony." In the modern world, your patrimony is your time, your space, and your dignity. If you let someone steal a minute of your time by being late, or steal your mood with their rudeness, you signal to the system, you are not the master of your resource. You are unclaimed property, and what is unclaimed is always taken by the strongest. Why do you still believe that if you're good enough, people will appreciate it and stop pressing you? Open your eyes. In nature, a predator doesn't stop hunting a gazelle because she has kind eyes. He eats her because she is food. How soon will you start hating yourself so much that you stop recognizing the man in the mirror? How many more pieces of your soul are you willing to give away just to avoid an uncomfortable conversation? You're waiting for the moment when everything changes on its own, when they finally understand and apologize. But that moment will never come because they don't see a problem. To them, everything is fine. After all, you keep smiling. But what if I told you there's a way to flip the table? A way to make them fall silent when you start speaking, and make them feel a cold sweat just thinking about contradicting you? Are you ready to learn how to turn your invisibility into a weapon of mass destruction? Or do you still need time to get used to the role of the doormat? The biggest lie you tell yourself is, I just kept quiet. Nothing happened. Something did happen. You just committed an act of micro-betrayal. You betrayed the person who trusts you most in the world, yourself. You know why it hurts so much, not because of what they said, but because your inner voice just gave you a diagnosis. Helpless. Every time you eat disrespect, a dead zone forms in your psyche. You start building barricades of excuses. He's just in a bad mood. I'm above this. I need to be wiser. But Machiavelli knew the truth. This isn't wisdom. It's psychological capitulation. You voluntarily hand over the key to your fortress and wonder why strangers are now roaming your halls. When you allow people to ignore your boundaries, you gradually turn into a social ghost. You aren't hated. You're simply no longer factored into the equations. Your opinion is a margin of error. Your time is a free resource. Look at your life without filters. How many people around you actually see you? Or do they only see a convenient tool that's always at hand and never breaks? The fear of conflict has made you convenient, but it has also made you dead. In the eyes of the architects of the system, you are a unit with zero priority. And the most terrifying part, you've started to believe it yourself. But what if I told you that this rot is not a sentence, but fuel? Fuel for the only protocol that actually works. Machiavelli wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good. To survive, you must master the art of not being good. And the first tool in your arsenal is not aggression. It is the deprivation of access." Think about it. Why do people permit themselves to disrespect you? Because they know you aren't going anywhere. You'll always be there, always listening, always forgiving. Your availability is their license for your destruction. The removal protocol begins with silence. Not with a scream, not with a tantrum, but with a cold, surgical distance. You stop being understandable. You stop being predictable. You become a black box that no longer yields data on the first request. Most people think strength is when you can hit. Machiavelli knew that true strength is when you can disappear, leaving an ear-splitting void behind. But how do you do it so they don't just notice, but start to panic? How do you make them feel they've lost something priceless, even though a second ago they were wiping their feet on it? Now we move to the most dangerous part of this journey. We will break down how to activate lion mode without making a sound, and how to make them seek your forgiveness themselves. Are you ready to rewrite your code? Or do you still like the taste of your own defeat? Machiavelli said, "You must be a fox to see the traps." In the world of disrespect, traps are always disguised as ordinary communication. Sarcasm, friendly jabs, a dismissive tone. This isn't accidental. It's social engineering. The offender is running a test script into your system to see if your firewall will let it through. A fox doesn't get offended. A fox analyzes. When someone tries to hurt you, your first reaction is to justify yourself or strike back. Drop this code. This is exactly what they expect. Your justification is an admission of their power. Your anger is an admission that they breached you. The Fox algorithm is simple. Pause. Cold analysis. Zero reaction. Look at them as if you are studying a bacterium under a microscope. Let them feel that their hack attempt didn't just fail. It wasn't even registered as a threat. How long can they endure your empty, searching gaze before their own confidence starts to crumble? But the fox only sees the snare. To destroy it, you need the lion. Many think the lion is the one who roars loudest. A mistake. Machiavelli's lion is the one whose presence makes the roar unnecessary. Machiavelli understood. If a ruler cannot punish for treason, his crown is trash. In your world, the punishment is removal. This isn't a quarrel. This isn't settling scores. It is a quiet, irrevocable act of stripping access. You simply delete the person from your internal registry. You don't reply to messages. You don't react to provocations. To you, this unit no longer exists. Most people fear loneliness, so they cling to toxic friends and partners. But Machiavelli knew an empty throne is better than a throne surrounded by traitors. Are you ready to hit the delete button? Are you ready to accept the silence that follows? Or have you grown so accustomed to the noise of others' disrespect that the silence of your own dignity feels too frightening? You did it. You drew the line. And now you see what you feared most. People have started to leave. Those who used to interrupt you. Those who exploited your time. Those who built their ego on your silence. They are vanishing. Machiavelli said, "You must be a fox to see the traps." In the world of disrespect, traps are always disguised as ordinary communication. Sarcasm, friendly jabs, a dismissive tone. This isn't accidental. It's social engineering. The offender is running a test script into your system to see if your firewall will let it through. A fox doesn't get offended. A fox analyzes. When someone tries to hurt you, your first reaction is to justify yourself or strike back. Drop this code. This is exactly what they expect. Your justification is an admission of their power. Your anger is an admission that they breached you. The Fox algorithm is simple. Pause. Cold analysis. Zero reaction. Look at them as if you are studying a bacterium under a microscope. Let them feel that their hack attempt didn't just fail. It wasn't even registered as a threat. How long can they endure your empty, searching gaze before their own confidence starts to crumble? But the fox only sees the snare. To destroy it, you need the lion. Many think the lion is the one who roars loudest. A mistake. Someone is unhappy with your new distance? Let them be. Someone calls your clarity arrogance? Excellent. Let them say whatever they want, as long as they do it outside your perimeter. The world won't become fair just because you're a good person. But it will become predictable once you start understanding its rules. Disrespect dies where self-reverence begins. And this isn't about pride. It's about the realization that your source code is sacred. You are no longer a unit waiting for validation of its value from the system. You are the one rewriting the system for yourself. A lion doesn't ask permission from hyenas to take his territory. He simply enters and stands. From this moment, your silence is worth more than others' shouts. Your absence punishes harder than any blow. Your life is your manifesto. Live so that the very thought of disrespecting you feels like a system error to those around you. Architects don't ask for respect. They create conditions in which it is inevitable. If you felt how this code began rewriting your reality, then you are already one of us. We aren't here to adapt to the world. We are here to hack its rules. Leave a mark in the system. Subscribe if your old scenario has been erased. Write one word in the comments. Architect, if you no longer accept refusals from this reality. Your defense protocol is activated. End of transmission.